me tell you how it will be.
You know what that music means. We got not one, but two, count them, two segments with Taxman Bob Loeser, as we affectionately call him here. Taxmanbob at pdq.net is how you email him. And we just got done talking about politics, but we're going to talk about your money, because this is a business show. And so, and of course, politics affects your business. But let's talk a little bit about the business front. January, hard to believe. Feels like we're still in the middle of last year, frankly, chronologically. Actually, about 3 or 4 years ago is what it feels like. But,
it went pretty quickly, and we could dialogue as to the goods and the bads and the uglies for 2015. For 16, I mean, we're hopping right into it. Clients are calling, going, if I get you my stuff, can my employees have their W-2s by
tomorrow afternoon?
Tomorrow afternoon or whatever. And so, I mean, we've got the systems, the software running. I've got employees working on it. So our first big shot for the first grouping will be by the 15th of January, getting those out. And then the rest of them by the 22nd or so. They're not due to be mailed out to employees until the 31st of January. And the employers do not have to file those W-2s until February 28th.
So those are your number one. That's the number one thing you're thinking about.
Correct.
Right now.
That's. I mean, again, as you know, deadlines are so important and pertinent to my business. That's the first one. We also have 1099s, people that are working independent contract for clients that earn over $600. Those have to be filed by January, or have to be in the mail by January 31st.
Yeah. And
in the government hands, mailed to them by February 28th.
Talk a little bit about what's next as far as actually paying deadlines.
Okay, the paying deadlines, and you've got some. Besides the W-2s, the backup to that is the quarterly reports, which include the federal and state unemployment, and those reports are due by January 31st. Mm-hmm. So we're working on. You actually have to work on those and complete those first, so that you can tie into the W-2s. And the reason why I say that, for the average individual out there, the IRS for businesses tie the 4 quarters of the 941s to the totals of your W-2, and it doesn't match, you get a nice little letter from Social Security Administration saying this doesn't match, you owe us some money. Mm-hmm. Okay, or this doesn't match, you may be getting a refund. So we tie all those things in. But in answering your question, that the next deadline would be March 15th, which is the corporate deadlines, which include C Corps, S Corps, etc. And then April 15th, of course, is the big deadline for individual tax returns, partnerships, and trusts. And then on May 15th, we have the franchise tax, state of Texas franchise tax reports, over $1 million in sales. Under $1 million, you have to file, but you owe no tax. Over $1 million, depending upon your situation, you could owe some tax.
Yeah,
a little bit, 1% or 0.5%. Then, in addition to that, we've got for Harris County, Montgomery, Fort Bend, you'll have the appraisal district reports that are due on your business assets. And those are due by April 15th with an extension, 2 extensions that they give. They give a May 15th first extension, and then you can get an additional written extension, written approval, for May 31st. And a lot of that has to do with just our work overload, that we just can't get to it.
Yeah.
All right. And
Congratulations.
They'll work with us.
Yeah.
Fortunately.
Talk a little bit about attitude among your clients in terms of perspective and how they look at 2016. Upbeat, not so much.
I think they're cautiously optimistic. I mean, I actually talked to this morning before leaving for your show, and one of them said that our gross volume for the year was $100,000 less than it was the year before. Mm-hmm. But our gross profit was only $5,000. All right. Again,
$5,000 less?
Less. In layman's terms, that means
meaner and leaner.
Exactly. They billed less, but their gross margin on their product was more. Mm-hmm. Okay? And that's what people have to become aware of. And a lot of it's not flying by the seat of your pants like it used to be. Who cares about this? And that's $50 here, and that's $101. No, it's all
every penny counts.
Cumulative and inclusive. That if you could save $12,000, all right, and we've done that recently with fine tuning some of the things in our office, and moving in with one of my colleagues that hopefully next month will join us, Jeff Green with Green Financial Group. I cut my rent overhead by $1,000 a month.
That's awesome.
Okay. Now, again, where's that going to go? It's going to go for new computers. It's going to go. We hired 2 new people starting the 4th of January, which I'm grateful and blessed for. I need to keep them busy now. and will. But I think the other factor is I talked to another one that said he's in the medical-related business, and they're tied into insurances. Last year they had the best year of the last 10. And then he paused and he said, Bob, this year we're going to be down 30%. And it all has to do with Obamacare and everything related as to what they'll pay for and what they won't pay for now.
It's so funny because I got people who are so passionate in favor of Obamacare, and I can't find a single one of them now. You know, people who are not political,
Right.
but they needed health insurance, and now they're paying 50 to 100% more than they used
Correct.
to pay. They have fewer options. All the individual ones who used to be able to have access to the cancer hospital,
Right.
the premier cancer hospital
Now we're
of
told.
the world,
Now we're told where they can and can't go.
they can't go anymore. Wait a minute. Some of them were being treated for cancer.
Correct.
You know, now they got to go somewhere else.
Well,
I mean,
even the
people get very political when it starts getting personal.
Exactly. And we went through the process. We're with a family with Blue Shield Blue Cross, and we were told that we'd have to go to another policy. All right, before we looked into it further, and we had a grandfather clause that said, if you've got this plan, we'll continue it on for the next 3 years. All right. Well, we didn't know that. We went through, and certain plans, I think United Healthcare was one, and there was another one, that you could only go to certain hospitals. Well, I have an issue with that because if my son is at A&M and he's in a car accident, I got to drive him all the way back to Sugar Land or downtown Houston in order for him to be seen, or I can have him seen at College Station Regional or whatever they call it, but I got to pay for it out of pocket? Ain't going to happen.
Right.
So we then had to start piecing together and saying, well, if you do this plan, then it isn't just these 5 hospitals in the Houston area you can see. You can be a part of A, B, and C depending upon where family members are. But it's complicated.
Yeah.
All right. And for us, I mean, we thought initially that our monthly was like $1,300. We thought it was going to like $1,900, which would have been a 50% increase.
Unbelievable.
It's only going up $150 because we were able to maintain the same Blue Cross Blue Shield product.
Yeah. But even then, you're paying a mortgage.
Correct.
A good mortgage
Oh,
at
yeah.
that.
And again, I'm grateful. I guess we all are grateful that I work hard enough and have the ability, cash flow wise, to be able to afford $1,500 a month health care. I mean, what do you tell you get? I'm sorry, we can't have that. Tonsillectomy or appendicitis, we don't have the money.
Tonsils are overrated anyway.
Yeah, that's right.
All those infections.
They should just remove them when you're born.
Yeah, exactly. I want them gone. Adenoids too, while you're at it. Interesting stuff. I love what you shared about efficiency, much more focus on money. People know too much today to not be cognizant of the importance of price. I mean, we're all walking encyclopedias with smartphones and tablets like I have here. And so we've got to figure out how to be meaner and leaner. That's kind of like everyone's mantra today.
You ever watch the show The Prophet on CNBC?
I think
okay,
I have,
it's
yes.
Marcus Lemonis, who's a wealthy individual, comes in. He'll ask, do you know your numbers? And people will go, no. How long have you been in business? 19 years. You have been in business 19 years and you don't even know your numbers? Right. You can't even pull someone aside and go, let me talk to my accountant, my tax advisor. What? No. All right. No wonder why you're losing $80,000 a year. All right, because it's slipping right through your fingers.
Yeah, no wonder why you need me on your show or need to be on my show. All right, speaking of shows, on TV shows at that, remember The Price of Business now has a weekly TV show on the Biz Television Network. And coming up, we've got some great guests. Robert Kiyosaki, author of Rich Dad, Poor Dad. He's going to be coming on in the next 2 weeks. U.S. Senator Rand Paul is going to be on the program in the next couple of weeks. And so I'd like to get you on the program in the next month or so.
God, if I could get on with Rand Paul, that's another story.
Now that you said that, I'll probably make sure it's on different days.
I'd ask him the tough questions.
There you go. All right. His name is Taxman Bob Loeser, and he wasn't born with the first part, but we give it to him, and that's how I always think of him. Your number before I let you go.
713-953-1272.
Taxman Bob at pdq.net, and this is The Price of Business.
'Cause I'm the